I'm a physiotherapist in Forth Valley Royal Hospital. I have a special interest in people who have ongoing chest conditions. In particular, people who have chest conditions that lead to a build-up in phlegm and maybe have a bit difficulty getting the phlegm up on a daily basis. It's really important, if you've got a problem with your chest and with phlegm, that your chest is cleared regularly. Because if it's not, that can lead to chest infections, recurrent chest infections, and therefore scarring in your lungs, which is, I'm sure, not what you want. I've got some advice that may make it easier for you to help get the phlegm up on a daily basis. The phlegm is needed in your lungs. There's a small amount of moisture made by your lungs regularly, but usually healthy lungs clear away that moisture at the same rate as it's being produced. The problem is when that phlegm builds up. And if you've got an ongoing chest condition like bronchiectasis or COPD or asthma, maybe later on in the disease process, then that phlegm becomes more of a problem. Now, when the phlegm is produced by your chest, it's as clear as water. But when bugs settle in this phlegm, then the colour changes. Bugs love it in our chest because it's warm and moist. And once they get settled, it's difficult to get rid of them. If you suspect that you have a chest infection, it's important that you consult your doctor and possibly get started on antibiotics. But it's really important to remember that antibiotics will kill some of the bugs, but not all of the bugs. And the antibiotics will not clear away the debris of that chest infection. So the only way to clear away that debris is for you to cough up the phlegm. Later on, I'm going to show you some breathing exercises that may well make it easier for you to get the phlegm up. But there are other things that you can do to help make it easier for yourself. One of the things that helps is making sure that you're drinking the right amount of fluid. If you don't drink enough fluid, you'll generally be dehydrated. And that means that your phlegm is left thicker and stickier and difficult to clear, difficult to cough up. So you do need to be drinking enough, and it might be worth having a think about what you drink in the course of the day. If you're surviving on tea and coffee with caffeine, then you will not be well hydrated. You need to be drinking caffeine-free fluid as well. So that's water or diluting juice or fresh fruit juice. Remember that a lot of fizzy juices have caffeine in them. So have a think about your fluid intake. We are recommended to drink in the region of 8 glasses of water a day. Decent sized glasses, not too small. Remember, it is possible to drink too much, so build yourself up gradually and see how it affects your phlegm. We're really hoping that if you drink a bit more, your phlegm will become a bit looser and therefore come up a bit easier. It's probably also helpful to drink that fluid in the morning or early afternoon so that you get the fluid into your system, get the benefit of it, loosening off your chest, but then get rid of it before you go to bed at night so that you're not up and down to the loo all night. So have a think about your fluid intake and see whether that advice might be useful for you. Another thing to take note of is how much you're coughing. Now, your cough is important. It's the reflex that we need to get phlegm out of your chest. But without a doubt, too much coughing will make your condition worse. And possibly a lot of you do know the scenario of cough, 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 and not really getting anywhere. Don't do that. From today, I would like to take those coughing fits away from you. I know that's easy for me to say, sometimes you can't help it. But if you cough a lot every day, your main airway becomes very sensitive and raw, and your cough is more easily triggered. Another thing to remember is that if you're coughing too much, you're irritating your chest, and your chest will respond to that by producing more phlegm. So too much coughing is definitely working against you. You really want to be doing something that helps to get the phlegm up to here, and then just 1 or 2 coughs to get it right up. These breathing exercises that I'm going to show you may well help you with that one. They work for a lot of people, so we'll come back to that. Nighttime pattern is important. Don't want you to be coughing all night, disturbing your sleep. You might find that if you start doing the breathing exercises that I'm going to show you, you might not have as much of a problem with coughing at night. But just a wee note, some people will cough more when they lie down, and that's because when you lie down, your lungs are in a different position and the phlegm can start to work its way up a little bit easier. If you're coughing at night, then lying down may well be a position that helps you to get the phlegm up. I don't want your sleep to be disturbed, but if that describes you, then lying down at a spell during the day and doing the breathing exercises really might be useful, might help you to get the phlegm up better. Talk about exercise. The right amount of exercise will help your chest. It has to be the right amount and it has to be done at the right pace. Don't over-exercise because you'll make yourself tired and you make yourself a little bit more prone to chest infections if you overdo it. But if you do a light amount of exercise and it gets you pecking mildly out the puff, then that helps to move the phlegm. And anything that shifts the phlegm in your chest will help it and encourage it to work its way up in your chest. And exercise can be anything that has you a bit more active than normal. So it can be housework, gardening, going out for a walk, but maybe at a pace just a little bit more than you used to do. Or it can be going to the gym or a class that you fancy, an over 50s class. It can be anything. I'm not telling you you have to go and do the gym or take up formal exercise. I just think it's a good idea if you think about your activity levels, because anything that gets you mildly pecking will help to move the phlegm. Let's keep this simple. We want to encourage the phlegm to move so that it's easier for you to get it up. I'd like to introduce you to Tam. Tam has been doing deep breathing exercises for the last couple of months. And Tam's going to demonstrate for you just now, and I'm going to talk you through it, Tam, just pointing out what we're looking for here. Alright, first of all, Tam, can I get you to sit up as straight as you can, but with your shoulders relaxed?
Right.
What I want you to do is take a nice big deep breath in, and then you're going to hold that breath for a couple of seconds and then relax it out. We'll do this slowly because if we do it too fast, you might feel a little bit lightheaded, and I don't want that. So when you're ready, just take a nice big deep breath into your chest. Hold that breath and then relax it out. And then there's a wee pause before the next breath in. Big breath in again. Keeping your shoulders nice and relaxed. And then relax it out. That's nice. And so with the next breath in, just when you're ready, big breath in again. Trying to get the air low down in your chest. Holding that breath for a couple of seconds. And then relax it out. That's fine. That's 3 deep breaths. I would get you to have a wee rest now. We hope from doing that the air getting deeper in your chest disturbs the phlegm and encourages it to move. At home, you would do more than that. You carry on doing deep breathing for a little bit longer, and then you would do your huff to see if you've moved any phlegm. And the huff's a great breath for encouraging the phlegm up higher so that you don't have to cough quite so much. I'm going to just remind you what a huff is just now. So it's a big breath in, keeping the shoulders down, and then wide open mouth and a fast breath out. So when you're ready, try a huff for me. That's grand. Have a wee pause, and when you're ready, another one. too much phlegm moving at the moment?
No.
Sometimes you'll hear a crackle when you do that, do you?
Aye.
Yeah. But we've been doing deep breathing for a few minutes now, so we've maybe moved some and you're not hearing it now. The trick is not to cough too soon, isn't it? Do you sometimes find that if you do your huff, it triggers you into a cough?
Aye, it does, aye. Sometimes.
So you have to be careful not to do your huff too vigorously. Those who have a chest problem and have been coughing a lot will have to be careful not to huff too vigorously. Try not to cough too early. It's important to keep the whole thing nice and relaxed and slow. And you did it beautifully there just now. How often do you do the breathing exercises in the day?
I'll do it at least 3-4 times, at least. Well, usually double that.
Yeah, grand. Don't do them too much, especially if they make you feel tired.
No, they don't.
Okay, you've found a routine that works for you, and I think that's really important. It's about finding what works for you. Maybe to start with, doing them morning, noon and night might be useful. That said, don't do them after a meal, so don't do them after your lunch. Keep it simple in your head what we're trying to do. We're trying to disturb the phlegm and then encourage the phlegm up. The huff hopefully means you won't have to cough so much. Too much coughing is not good. They're helpful for you then, are they, these breathing exercises?
Oh, aye. I'll keep doing them as long as I've getting rid of this.
Yeah. And it's about getting into a routine, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That is important as cleaning your teeth if you've got a chest problem.
It just gets into a daily thing, so.
Yeah.
Aye. Okay.
And do you find that coughing the phlegm up is easier with the breathing exercises?
Aye. Sometimes you rack yourself try doing that.
Aye. So no more.
No. You just let it take its course and it comes up itself.
Yeah. So do some deep breathing, and if it doesn't come up then, it might come up later.
Mm-hmm.
Aye. Great. Thank you very much. If you can get into a routine of drinking a little bit more, of doing deep breathing exercises, of not coughing too much when the phlegm's not coming, and maybe of doing a little bit more exercise, the right amount of exercise, please don't overdo it, then you might well find that you start to get the phlegm up easier. If you've got a lot of phlegm, the first week or two you might actually start to get up an awful lot more phlegm than you usually do. But then that should settle down because you'll have cleared the lungs and there won't be as much phlegm being produced. Please don't overdo it though. Don't drink too much water. Don't do too much exercise. And just pace yourself. I think this is all about finding what works for you. So maybe start small, start gentle, and then as you get into it and you see what's working, you can start to maybe do a little bit more. Don't take any risks. Don't overdo it. But it would be good to maybe put in some of this advice into your daily life.